Everyone. Today I'm going to introduce you to Lynn Thomas. She's a coach. She has actually pivoted our business a little bit too, I think. But anyway, I'll let her explain what she does and how she started and where she is now. So Lynn, please introduce yourself. What do you do and how you came to do what you're doing now?
Oh, perfect. Thank you so much for having me on. I'm a former tax attorney with Arthur Andersen turned consultant, and I focus on customer and employee retention primarily. And in this day and age, a lot of it is around COVID, how to attract and retain top employees, and you need those to retain your top clients. My background as a tax attorney, as Arthur Andersen is, I enjoyed that, but it wasn't the fit that I was looking for. And then realized at the Bank of Boston, I was a private banker and a change agent. And while being a change agent, I saw what I call sort of the dark underbelly of corporate America, which inspired me to find positive ways that companies could really genuinely care about employees and care about clients and make a difference. And having high client and employee loyalty and retention is core to having sustainable long-term growth and profits. We also guarantee our work 100 to 300% return on your investment within a year, or we'll refund your investment. And for 16 years, we've been offering that and never had to do it. And people say, well, how can you do that? It's like, well, I'm a tax attorney and I know what changes will hit the bottom line. So depending on what metrics the client wants, I can deliver to those. So it's been a wonderful joy of helping companies. It's really creating innovative and different ways that you can delight clients and employees. And a lot of that comes from the untapped potential we all have inside. And I love working with people. Some of it's executive coaching, most of it's consulting, but helping them really to develop their own skills so they could tap into many other skills, knowledge, wisdom they have. And that is really where a lot of the new ideas, the innovation really springs from.
Gotcha. Awesome. Well, so with that, you pivoted, and I guess can you get into that to share with people who you can help and who would you like to connect with that side of your business now, how that really will help essentially the new way the business potentially is going to be done after the pandemic. So
right. Oh, sure. Mostly I work with professional service companies. Doctors, dentists, attorneys, accountants, banks, wealth management, investment firms, do quite a bit in high tech. And for me, a lot it's around just having really genuine human connections, which obviously have been absent a lot. And so many organizations just finding a way to have those when you're having a hybrid, which is what most companies are going towards. And so if you're wanting to retain and you're willing to invest to retain your top clients, and usually the top clients are generating 20%, generate 80% of your revenue. Those are the clients that we like to work with, and find out from them what they want, and then the employees, how they can really deliver that. And it winds up just being enjoyable, very rewarding for me, very rewarding for the company, because they're on a really sustainable sustainable line, because when you have high client and employee loyalty and retention, it's really hard not to make money. If you're keeping your best clients, you have to do something really out of the ordinary to not generate profits. So though, companies who, and I think also fundamentally, Raj, it's important for me that companies genuinely care about their employees and care about their clients, and are willing to have, I'm calling this, actually my new newsletter coming out is Uncomfortable is the New Normal. So willing to have the uncomfortable discussions and conversations about how business is changing, what they need to do, and to genuinely listen to both, because clients' needs have changed also during this, not just employees and employers, but clients. So really to listen to that and find ways that you can deliver, if not 100% of what they want to the clients or employees, let's shoot for like 85 to 95%. And it may have a little twist to it. So if you're struggling with attracting and keeping employees, that's where you sort of start building a business. That's something that is our expertise. So contact us.
Got you. It doesn't matter what industry it is, but client retention and employee retention, that's your specialty.
Yes, yeah, the client, usually the companies that will invest in the client retention are ones where clients are there for a long time. So if you take, like I have worked with CVS, but CVS retail will not be um, a really great client because it doesn't cost them that much more to get you in the door versus or me to
Mhm.
attract a new client. Where if some, if you look at investment bankers,
Mhm.
for them to get a client in the door, for a client to leave or to get them in the door, they lose a lot of money when they leave, and it costs a lot of money and time to get them. So you want to retain them, and you really need to interview them to find out how they're doing. Just because they're staying with you doesn't mean they're happy.
Right.
So there's an assumption, oh, well, nobody's left, so I guess we're doing okay. It's like, well, how do you know that? So we do a lot of the interviewing, one-to-ones over Zoom. We do them in person when that was appropriate and all, and really find out on very deep levels, how happy are they? What do they really want? Why do they refer business or not? So you really get into the questions around why they've chosen to work with your organization, why they've stayed, why they leave, why they would leave, why they leave their previous organization, because why you left the previous one is very similar to the reasons why you'll probably leave where you're working now. And how could they improve, and what are they doing that just delight you, and what could they do to further delight you? And if you could change, a great question I offer everybody, if you could change one thing about an organization that you're working with, what would it be? Because the brain's really good at focusing on that. So that's a great question to ask, and really listen and probe underneath the initial responses.
Gotcha. Awesome. All right. So next two questions. I guess, yeah, if you're, looking to retain your clients or, employees or attract more better talent and all that. So Lynn obviously can help you with that. So reach out to her. I'll post her website, whatever links I have, either on the YouTube or if it's on LinkedIn that you're watching, I'll be tagging all those. So
Okay.
hopefully reach out to Lynn. So last two questions, Lynn, what inspires you to get up and do what you do every day?
Um, Really hearing from my clients what a difference I make and that my company's made in helping them to have really happy employees, for them to be making more profit and growing, and for shareholders to be happy with that, and employees to be really happy. I mean, if you have happy employees and you let them go and you train them and you get out of their way, they'll create happy clients. The happy clients will bring more people. I mean, on some level, it's not that complicated, sort of the dynamic, but it, when I help and coach people to become, no one wins when anybody plays small. And I think all of us have to play big. Now, what I mean by that is not being aggressive. I mean, it's not being passive, and it's not being aggressive, it's being assertive. So making sure that there's an example I have where I was working with a company, and the person who was the attorney and the compliance officer, when he spoke up in meetings, and he was the youngest of the management team, two or three more extroverted people would talk over him or interrupt him. And he just sort of was like, I'm not going to engage in that. And I just said to him in our coaching, I said, you can't do that. That's just not an option. You have a role to play, and your perspective needs to be seen. And if, I'll call him Harry, if Harry interrupts you, just say, Harry, please. And next time I said, put up your hand, and next time stand up. It will work. And we did that. And I said, I'll back you up. And now when he speaks, nobody interrupts him because he has priceless pieces of wisdom. And he's just evolved and grown to be a much bigger voice at the table. And I really want everyone to have a big voice at the table. I want everyone to be heard, because the more perspectives, I think, in any organization that can be taken into consideration to find a solution, the better. And I also believe in multiple options. Yeah. And that goes to my friend Scott, who every day he comes up with 20 solutions to his biggest personal professional problem. And I admire him because he has about every 2 years a new invention, and he's quite a remarkable person. But the idea of coming up with one or two solutions, it's like I want clients to at least get 10 to 20 solutions, possibilities, and then start narrowing them down. So you need everybody to be fully in, being heard, being seen, being present, putting your ideas out there. They may be wacky. I don't really care until we get to the verification stage. But there's 4 stages to the creative process, which a lot of people don't know. And then how you can actually come up with 2 or 3 really great ideas, and then work with them. So I seeing that I make a difference and that they're enjoying their job more, just warms my heart. And it's what clients say is, you had me see how I could do things that I never thought I could do. I see my employees differently. I see managers differently. I respect their views more. They respect mine more. And it's just, we all have blind spots. And I find that, excuse me, that when we are willing to just listen and for people to speak kindly, because I don't think there's any reason for anybody to, take the old 2x4 and hit somebody over the head. But by helping people say what they need to say, because we have difficult conversations and people avoid them. And I like people to have those conversations. And I'm able to do that. People say, oh, it's so much easier. And it's like, I can help mediate conversations that need to have happen because they're dragging baggage, for 20 years or 10 years or 5 years, that baggage that drags them down. I mean, how are you going to create a wow place or a delightful place to work and a delightful place for clients to come in or for clients to interact with if everyone is sort of ho-hum? And it's especially with COVID, how you create a safe environment, one where employees can really excel and they want to excel, is more challenging than it probably ever has been. But it's possible. All hardships are just opportunities to polish ourselves and become and shine brighter as our own individual gems.
Awesome. Great. Thank you. All right. So, what one tip, obviously you're working with a lot of entrepreneurs and all that. I'm sure you come across a lot of tips and a lot of things that you help and you learn. So what's the one tip you can share that has helped you or others or personal, professional, doesn't matter. One tip.
One tip. I would say be willing to be uncomfortable every day. And when you're uncomfortable, part of you to say, yay, okay, I'm growing, I'm learning, because you're doing something you haven't done before. And it's said that we only have 7 minutes at work, that we have any unique thoughts, like the same old thoughts just being recycled. So do something uncomfortable. And I don't care if it's personal, professional, it just will widen your experience and the options that you'll come up with, the things that you'll see. Pick up magazines you don't know anything about. Look at, if it's TV programs or entertainment, and find, talk to people you don't usually talk to, because it's just the more diversity, the different the ideas and the experiences of the people that you bring to the table and your knowledge, the more incredible and positive the experiences will be. So seek out situations, people that make you uncomfortable, and say, yay. And I'll just end that I have a client in California that has a relatively new CEO, and they said the day they feel comfortable, they're going to fire him. So they really want to be on the leading edge, because you're on the leading edge, you're not comfortable. I mean, it's like, you may fall off, but then if you do, you get back up to say, okay, that didn't work. What's plan B or C or D or E? So be willing to be uncomfortable. I think uncomfortable is the new norm, and I celebrate that. And just take lots of deep breaths and burn off the adrenaline, and we'll all create wonderful, profitable businesses that people will want to work with and want to be clients or customers of.
Awesome. That's a great tip. Yeah, I love that, because I try to put myself in uncomfortable situation as much as possible. Awesome tip. Yeah, I agree with that. Awesome. Thanks again, Lynn. Again, I'll be posting whatever links are available with me whenever I post wherever you're going to see this video. So reach out to Lynn if what she says, chimes with you, and see if there's synergy between you guys. Again, thank you, Lynn, for taking the time.
Thank you so much. Enjoyed it. Take care.